All right, guys, we're here at Independence. I got Coach Joe Evans with us. We're here to talk about the Patriots. I've been getting your emails asking why is Independence #1 in the Sweet 16? Who have they played? They only beat South Meg. And I wanted to come out here and ask for myself, are you guys as good as your record?
Yeah, we're as good as our record. I think we are. We we can only play the teams that are on our schedule. And if teams drop off, that's out of our control. Right. We can only control what we control. I tell the guys all the time, you just lace it up and go play on Friday. Doesn't matter who it is, they all get the same treatment.
Yeah. What have been the biggest keys for the run so far? I mean, we hear about the 6 shutouts and the starters not giving up. I don't think any points all season long. I mean, what is it about this team? Is it offense? Is it defense?
Attitude. Completely different shift in the attitude. I think the kids just from last year, they're calloused. They were upset the way their season ended. They were upset the way the games ended. We lost 5 games by 17 total points last year. 3 by 1 point, 2 by a touchdown, one to Butler, and then one to West Meck. So the kids, this summer when they came in, I said, "You want to feel like you felt last year, or you want to feel different?" And they bought in. And the whole summer was just the whole attitude was one team. It's just one team, not a bunch of individuals. Just one team. Everybody does their job and works to that goal. That's
funny. One almost looks like the eye on your head. What do you think, Corey? What do you think about Independence this year?
They've looked really strong. I mean, they've just the defense has been incredible. The way they've shut out teams. Like you said, the first string's been pretty much not scored on. So it's been a lot of second string points allowed. But I mean, I think the one argument, like you said, is that they maybe the schedule hasn't been as strong as some other teams. I think that's tough. Like you said, you can only play who you play. I mean, and they've shown that they're really strong.
And off camera, we were asking about the schedule, and Coach says, "I'm trying to improve the schedule." He had nothing to do with the schedule that's there. I mean, the schedule is done 2 years in advance, so we're going to try to play some tougher teams down the road. Can you tell the folks who you're looking at?
Just looking at some perennial 4A powers. Coach Brand at Vance is a good friend of mine, so we're going to play next year. Coach Paul Mary and I talk a lot, so we're going to play Mallard Creek and
that'd be a nice one.
We'll play our conference schedule, which is always tough. So.
And you got a week 1 opening, right?
Week 1 is open, so
week 1 is open. So
email me.
Northwestern Rock Hill, love to see Independence Northwestern. I like to see Richmond County Northwestern, New Bern. I know you guys are chirping up in New Bern. I like to see New Bern Independence. I love those type of games.
Absolutely.
I mean, they bring in teams you don't see normally and gives fans a chance to come out and see some really high quality football early in the year. And for you guys, win or lose, it helps you, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely. Down the road. I mean, last year Butler lost 4 games early on and made it almost got to the dance.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, it makes a difference. Let's talk a little bit about this week's schedule. I mean, Independence has a game in Mars Park. We're going to come back to a homecoming right here in a beautiful new gym and facility. I mean, it's incredible. I haven't been over here since this stuff was built. I'm just blown away. I'm like, I don't even recognize this place. But the big Providence game this week, we got Latin going to play Davidson Day. Davidson Day had a forfeit last week. Concord Force Assembly forfeited towards them. Not sure why, but Davidson Day is undefeated. No Will Greer, but Anthony Digioia is having a great year.
He's doing all right there.
And Chad Greer, I'm telling you guys, I was reading some emails last night. Langston, who you think is going to be the Coach of the Year? He's got to be one of the favorites for Coach of the Year. To take the team he has, to graduate the folks he has, and to do as well as he's doing, it's pretty impressive. He's beating Country Day with big 4A power, big 3A private power, he's beating Providence Day. Now he's going to take on Latin. The game I want to see, though, Coach Greer, is Charlotte Christian and Davidson Day.
Right.
Well, tell me about Latin and all that crazy passing with Daniel Jones.
All this crazy
passing.
Daniel Jones can really run. That's what impressed me most when I saw him against Christian.
This game's going to be like 63-60. It's going to be like a Carolina football game.
Could be. But I love they're playing like we talked about.
Carolina
Days.
football game.
I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm not going to go there.
All right. They won.
But they did. Finally. But Davidson, I love that Davidson Day's played Providence Day. They've played Country Day. They're going to play Charlotte Latin because, I think a lot of people look at these small private schools and don't think they can really compete with the big boys. Just like they look at Country Day and people don't think they compete with, the 3A, 4A teams in the state. So I like that Davidson Day's putting these these teams on their schedule. They're going to play Charlotte Latin, which I really think, if they can win that game, they can prove a lot with, being a small school, being a small team, and losing all they have.
They only have like 23 players.
Yeah, something like that.
That's
a couple injuries really hurt them.
All right, Olympics playing South Bend. I marked that game on the schedule because New South went to Charlotte Catholic. They really had a shot to win. I picked South Make to win. They lost a really close game. Now they have to turn around and play a rival. I know Olympic isn't as strong as they've been in recent years, but this is the type of trap game that you got to have, especially coming off a loss. I mean, what do you think about South Make this year and the job Rocky White's done over there?
Well, you know, Coach White gave me my first coaching job at West Meck, and I got a lot of respect for him and the way he coaches, and he really has done a great job this year. You know, he builds a rapport. A lot of people don't know. Coach White builds a great rapport with his kids. Mm-hmm. And when we were at West Meck together, it was me, him, Aaron Brand, Bobby Collins, all of us coached together. And he built
future head coaches.
He built a rapport with those kids, and those kids have run through a wall for him, and he's got them believing, and he's got them playing at a really high level.
He's got a really good coach staff right now.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a former NFL Panther over there, Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah,
he's got Larry Kennedy, who's probably one of the best. I got to be careful now, but he's one of the best youth football coaches around. I want to be careful because I want to be careful. I don't want to make Ethan Horton mad or Deems May and all those guys. Larry's really good. My son played Larry's program. My oldest son played Larry's program, the Gators growing up. But they got a great program over there. A lot of talent. I mean, I don't think people realize how talented South Lake is over there. They got a lot of D1s over there.
We played them. That was one of the things we looked at, and I mean they're very talented. They're very athletic. Their team speed is amazing. Mm-hmm. You know, and their record is what it is because they're a great team and he's a great coach.
Well, and if they go small 4A like they did a couple years ago, they could be a problem.
And make noise.
Yeah.
Make noise.
All right, the other game we want to talk about, homecoming over here. Mm-hmm. This is kind of the juicy part of the schedule. You know, everybody's saying Independence hasn't played anybody. Well, guess what, folks? Myers Park's a good football team. Great quarterback. Quarterback's having a phenomenal year over there. Running back is really good. You told me you saw him on film run away from some big-time defensive backs. And this is a trap game for you guys because we don't want to be looking ahead to, you know, Rocky River and Butler coming up. Talk about Myers Park rather and how big a deal this is for you guys.
Well, it's huge. I mean, you know, I tell the guys every week the most important game of the season is this week's game coming up. The next game that we're playing is the most important.
Not those black and orange dudes.
It's not. No, not even. I'm not even thinking about them yet. I mean, because I know Coach Chadwick and I know what kind of coach he is and I know what kind of players he has and how much they've improved this season. It's not a trap game because we're only worried about Myers Park right now and how good they are and how athletic they are and their quarterback is having a monster year. I mean, he's 6'5", sees everything, has really good pocket presence. Their pocket integrity stays.
They got a big offensive line in front of them.
They do.
That's gonna be a heck of a battle. Your defensive line against his offensive line.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell how big his offensive line is because he's so big. Yeah. You know, his quarterback's so big, and then you see the offensive line, and you're like, man, they're not much smaller than he is. So it's gonna be a battle. I mean, we all know that's where the game's won and lost is in the trenches. So we gotta try to do some things to control the line of scrimmage and play our game, and hopefully we can get a win.
Corey brought up a point about private school ball and public school ball. I think I think the theory is that private schools can't compete with public schools. But every year I look, Country Day beat Northwestern, Country Day beat Hillside earlier this year, and I know that Latin and those guys have a hard time scheduling games. If you were allowed, would you play a Charlotte Christian? Would you play a Country Day?
Absolutely. Coach Estep and I are really good friends. Our sons play on the same baseball team together, and we coach it actually together. So I'd absolutely play Charlotte Christian. Man, those guys, look at it like this. Those guys are coaches just like I'm a coach. Mm-hmm. Those kids are high school kids just like I coach just like my high school kids. Mm-hmm. You know, they're the same. They may have a little bit less number. Mm-hmm. You know, they go to a private school, these kids go to public school. At the end of the day, they're high school kids that are playing football. You know, I would absolutely love the chance.
Would you like me personally, I wish that CMS would just allow you to schedule private schools if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't want to,
then don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a certain basketball coach who I'm very good friends with who just hates this rule. I mean, just does not want to play private schools and thinks we should have a rule. Well, you don't need a rule. Just don't schedule them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my opinion. But I mean, I think that'd be good for the city because I think he has some big-time gates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You would. You just got to, I mean, if you're confident in your ability, you're confident in your kid's ability, it doesn't matter if it's public, it doesn't matter if it's private. Play them. Like you said, if you don't want to play them, don't play them. Don't schedule them. That's easy.
I'm thinking about the excitement around that Mallard Creek Charlotte Christian season opener we had. I mean, everybody was, you see a private school state champion and public school champion in the same city.
Because you never see it, and everybody wants to make money. Guys, this is how you make money. All right, last question, we're going to get out of here. How deep can the Big I make a run in the playoffs this year?
As deep as the players want to go.
As deep as players want to go.
If
So all we've been talking about is Mallard Creek and Butler and maybe a little bit of Richmond County. I mean, should anybody be in that conversation?
Mallard Creek and Butler and Richmond they've been relevant lately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just say we're just gonna play football. You know, I'm not worried about being in anybody's conversation. I want to play football. If we're number one in Sweet 16, if we're not in the Sweet 16, we're going to play football the way these guys play. And if they want to go all the way to the state championship game, we'll go. If they don't want to go all the way to the state championship game and they're satisfied with going home in the second round again, then we'll go home in the second round again.
I don't think they're going home in the second round. We'll catch you guys next week.